Hello, everybody, and welcome to this kind of architecture adaptive reuse remodeling tutorial in which I'm going to show you how you can use aerial photos, object photos, hand taking measurements, and exterior and interior scans of a space, and then use all that to very easily create a rebuild of that space, like this one. I will show the whole process, how I slowly build the walls and then create all the construction that is inside. And while this looks actually very dense, there's a lot of copy and paste and repetition with the pattern tool to cut down the labor of this design. And with all that said, let's go ahead and do it. Before we get started, let's take a look at how I set up this design. As you can see, there are various types of information. There's a 3D scan, Google Maps screenshot, property photos, and there are even architectural sketches with dimensions on it. Let's hide everything and only take a look at the scan. As you can see, we have here a drone exterior scan. So I used a drone, flew over the property and photographed everything. It's actually really nice if you want to digitize a lot of details. You can see the brick. And here, for example, there's a floodlight. You can see how there the wall is separating. There's a fold and then it bulging down, and you can even here see how this is going down. Sooner or later, that's going to break. And then, yeah, we even can see how the roof actually has a pitch. Quite nice. But since we're working on the inside, well, we also need an inside scan, which we have here. There. In the scan, I just used my iPhone and photographed everything while walking along the walls, and then used also 3D photogrammetry to create this 3D model. And here I really, as you can see, tried to pay attention to looking at all the details. There's the door, wall, joist, where's the ceiling. There's an kind of like a support structure. There are two support structures coming down. There's one coming down. You see the scan lacks a little bit of detail compared to the exterior scan, but that's fine. We are only having to take measurements very often, specifically in this project, where we are close to something. And in that situation and that type of scanning approach, for example, with Polycam and an iPhone or Android phone, totally works out. For this presentation, to make everything a little bit easier to see, then I also sliced the exterior and the interior scan. So we can look in. And this is actually quite nice because now even here we can see the thickness of the wall, and there's the roof. Clearly that is much thinner than the wall volume. Very good. And then we have the dimensions. They are set up. So if I go to the right view, I'm looking west, and then I see all the west elevation data. If I go front, I look north, I see all the north elevation data. And then in top view, I have the plan views. I split this up into 4 images because I don't have layers here and I didn't want to have multiple images. I need to turn on and off. And at the same time, this also showcases the process, the stages we're going to build this. Basic foundation, walls, openings, roof, element, and then the interior details. Now, with the property photos and the Google Maps photo, now we can nicely present it. But you can, for example, also very nicely see the door. And here we have the interior space where we zoom in. Look at this, how this is actually much bigger, less big. So that's actually another indicator that how this was constructed. The joists are 90-degree on this wood piece, and that is angled. And the I-beam is actually horizontal. That's the way how they did the pitch of the roof. And this type of photo documentation is very useful because in addition to measurements, it really helps you to later memorize or remember how everything looked at that space. Now, if you go to a space, you take photos, you take measurements, and then you go home to your studio, you want to make sure your data is correct so you don't build something that maybe is incorrect. Okay, so with all that said, let's turn all this off and get started. I go to top view, then I go to sketches, line, and I have the grid turned on. I'm working just in inches because all the dimensions I have in inches. I go up by 1176 inches, click on the y-axis. I go to the right, so east actually, 685 inches, click, I go down, straight and back, and then escape. Select everything, horizontal, vertical. This is all good. There is a line command. This line needs to be 135 degrees. This way, we actually have also here 135 degrees, and the distance is 75. So you see, I only actually took measurements there of the inside. I also did a scan of the outside because then I know maybe for the outside, where are the windows? Disclaimer, you have to be very careful if you make an interior scan and an exterior scan and you position them. They have to have the same size or scale. They need to be perfectly aligned to prevent that maybe from the left or the inside or the outside, let's say where a window is, the position might change. But it is an additional nice element to have the exterior scan to verify our design. So this is kind of done. This elevation view shows us is 191 inches. So this one goes up 191 inches. There we are. And then the top surface and the bottom surface we select, go to shell, and shell is to minus 12 inches. So 1 foot. Yeah, that's what I thought. This was actually not negative in my case. I had two minuses. If we now go to the scan, there, look at this. Now you can see how this kind of like fits in there. So that's pretty good actually. But you also can see there are some discrepancies, and it's all good. Again, the scan is really more kind of like the photos, a loose idea giver. With the dimensions I did manually, I really was then able to be very precise. Perfect. So this is kind of like done. So then we can actually maybe do this. I go to top view. I select the plan image, drag this over, because there are like two lines. This is where the wall actually goes a little bit higher. So on this top face, that is where I need to create a sketch. There we are. I draw here a line and I draw there a line from edge to edge. These lines will be horizontal, vertical. And then you see from here to there, so this point to this edge, that is 571 inches. And from here to there, nope, this edge to this point, that's 521. Cool. Okay. And on this elevation, we see, oh, this is 221. Okay, so that means this has to go a little bit higher. Oh, yeah, but by how much? Yeah. So I moved this 80 inches. We could say, well, let's see. 221 minus 191, that is 30 inches. So that should be 30. Okay. Let's verify. If I click on this edge, 221 inches. Perfect. Cool. Okay, so the walls are actually now done. We maybe then can look at adding the doors. I go back to the top view, move this image over. When you move images, you have nothing inside your history. So it's actually really nice to move everything around. One thing I need to say now, I will bring this one on top because otherwise, if the image is in front and I click on this face, this image is actually, I'm clicking that image. So I go sketch, there we are. And then I draw here a line and I draw there a line. These two lines I make horizontal, vertical, and let's go to top view. Now there we can see that it's 26 inches, that distance, and it's a 40 by 82 opening. 26, very good. So this edge to this edge, 26. Then the opening is 40. And then this, we just push up 82. And there's actually the opening for that door. Perfect. There are more dimensions. I also measured the interior edge of the wall to the opening of that door, or from there to there. It's up to you which one you would like to use. I will simply go with this one. We can reuse the same sketch. So I clicked on sketch 3. There we are. And click and escape and click and escape. Also here, horizontal, vertical. Then this point to this edge, that is 196. Oh, 361. 361. Don't trust your eyes. Bring this back over. And now I can bring this to there. No, this point to that point. 144. And then this goes up 144. No, that was actually not the correct value. 144. What happened in the sketch? 1 second. Oh, okay, the dimension was correct. I just didn't sketch well. Oh yeah, this line is too short. It needs to be on that wall. Good. Happy accident. Edit, delete this. Oh wait, oh, cancel. That is correct. Here I go back to this one and move this one up. 144. There. Perfect. Very nice. Now, this top view image or plan view, we can just again bring down. And then I can bring this one over to here for the kind of like the last stage when we use that one. Okay, nice. Just as an explanation, we have here these dimensions. Again, these dimensions are only useful while modeling. When we then, from this 3D model, create proper architectural dimensions, this doesn't carry over because we will take the model, project it onto a sheet, and then add dimensions exactly the way how we want. So this is not like architectural drafting dimensioning. This is just only to support us in our modeling. Beautiful. Good. So let's actually take a look at this. I select this wall, then I go to section cut, make a sketch. There we are. And I don't see that image. Actually, there. Let's move this one up where we can see how this works. I select this face again, click sketch. Now actually I can create these rectangles. So 109, 136. So unfortunately that didn't make the windows having the same spacing. So I have to draw 3 rectangles each time. And then, however, I can say, hey, these 3 rectangles have all the same width and they all have the same height. And now I can start dimensioning everything. So from here to that edge, that is 33.5. From here to there, and that is 136. From there to there, that is 109. The height is actually 49. The width is 96.75. And then this is 69 inches off the ground. Sure, maybe I'll put this one to here. Whoop. Go back to sketch engine. It's selecting actually the, how could I say that? It's selecting the axis, unfortunately. Oh, there we are. Perfect. So in 3D view, that actually worked. So what did I say? 69 inches there. Cool. Now we select all this and pluck. There are the windows. So you see this actually was really fast. And the cool thing is if we then later need to change things, let's say that wasn't 49, it's 50 inches. We just change the numbers and everything updates. But I just realized all these windows are not really at the same height. See, they can actually move around. So I select all these top edges and say, be, no, not parallel. I want them to be tangent to each other. Oh, you can only do this with a pair of two. That's why. There and there. Plonk. There. So if we make this 50, you see everything updates. So it's a little bit of setup work when you work with a parametric model, no matter Shapr, Fusion, Rhino. Oh, wait, Rhino doesn't have it, or Revit. Actually, AutoCAD also has these types of dimensions compared to if you work in a non-parametric program like Blender or SketchUp, where when you do something, it's done. Very good. So this was actually nice and easy. Here we can do exactly the same. Let's move this one up. Actually, I select everything here just to bring this up. Or I move this one up and then the others I do actually hide for the second. So good, I can see this. Maybe I tick further up. Then on this wall, which I select, I also here go section cut and create a sketch. There we are. And it's pretty much the same process. One rectangle, second and third, then escape. These two top edges are tangent. These two top edges are tangent. They are all actually width-wise the same, so equal, but only these two are height-wise the same. Very good. Yeah, well, let's go ahead. So we can say also here 96.75. Then the distance between those two is 71. Distance here is also 71. And the distance here is 122.5. From the side, you see actually the heights and, oh, great. I didn't take the dimension of that one room. Oh no, there it is actually. Okay, so I just realized that. So this is 34.5. And then this one is actually 49. Similar like the other windows. Maybe you notice they're following actually standard dimensions very often. You don't make individual windows always different because you would have to buy custom made pieces that go into the holes. 68 inches for that. And here we have 82.5. What is this? Yeah, 82.5. See? Perfect. Fits. It's correct. Beautiful. I think with that, yeah, we have everything. Clonk, clonk, clonk. We select everything and then push and pull. There we cut through. And we have now also the windows done. See, it actually goes pretty fast. Now let's clean up our design. I put all this in here and let's say we call this walls. So I have a folder with sketches that only deals basically with the walls. There. So the next step would actually be to design everything that goes into the space. So the support system for the joists, etc. And then also the roof that later goes over it. There we are. Perfect. Actually, I just realized there are also here a few extra pieces. I did sketches as 20 by 10, so 20 by 10 and 194 inches high. And then that's actually a 1010, and we can also make this 194 high. So in top view, I will just create a new sketch and then start drawing this there, and escape, make one here, and escape, one there, and escape, select everything, horizontal, vertical, UU are tangent, and UU are tangent. So these two are actually going to be the same, so I make them equal. And then this one here is 10. And then that is actually 20. You see, it's totally not following the sketch. That's also on purpose, because otherwise these elements would be so tiny in my illustration. It would be really complicated to follow. So this line and this line, they are equal. Very good. And then what did I say? 194. That goes up. There we are. There, there, push up. 194. So this is actually, these are support columns where later we can see this. The steel construction is actually sitting on top. We also see the dimension actually, or the spacing. So can go back to that sketch and say, so from, let's say, this point and this point, or I mean this point and that point, that is 196, and that here, and that is 192. Okay, so this should actually be pretty good. I put this also in there, and even here I'm making a new folder, walls. Maybe this one I simply call walls sketches, so I know what that folder is. That's just the way how I work. You can really customize it the way you would like. Let's do a quick verification, and yeah, well, looks pretty close. Good. Okay, very nice. So I would say the exterior we don't need anymore, so that can go. Back wall, yeah, that one is useful. That one can go. Yeah, now for example, there you can see also these elements. So we're going to build the construction everything is going to sit on. And then we're in no time making the joists and putting the roof on top. Goodie. Okay, so if I go to top view, So that is actually an 8 by 8 beam. And here too, you see they have different heights because they're actually at an angle, and then there are circular elements. This wall sketch I have here, this one, I will drag out for the moment. Because actually now I decided I put that together with the construction for what goes in there. But that's kind of like not part really of the wall. So in the sketch, we can draw somewhere a rectangle, and we call this 8 by 8. And that's actually all we need, nothing else. Then I'm going to draw a line, midpoint to midpoint. Then this is going to be horizontal, vertical. Can this rotate? Yes, so horizontal, vertical. And we see that is 8, and that is a 32 distance. There we are, 32. Thank you. Let's draw another rectangle. They are equal. And also, hey, could make this the same or simply say here 8 inches. Actually, here, make this one 8 inches. There. This one I delete and simply make this equal. And then I do the same trick. There, draw a guideline, horizontal, vertical, and that is 524. And everything what I'm also modeling here, and these are the dimensions I also took. So here is a circle, diameter is 4.5. Thank you. And then from the midpoint of that circle to this edge, it's 300. So from the center of that circle to this midpoint, construction, horizontal, vertical, that is 300. Cool. Okay. See, that wasn't too complicated. Very nice. Okay, beautiful. Now, this has an extrusion height of 170. Before I actually extrude this, I am going to sketch in very quickly the outline of our frame. So I will go back to editing this sketch. Then I will draw here a horizontal line, escape, another horizontal line, escape, a midline, escape, a right line, and a left line. These lines all should be horizontal and vertically aligned. This is a construction line. And now I can specify that thickness is 0.25. And I bring this back over because this line to this line should be symmetrical to that line. Here, that is 0.25. And this is 0.25. Cool. Okay. So with this way, as you can see now, I have an H, and that is now what I can very easily extrude 170. There, 170. Okay. The question now is, how do we do the other one? That's actually pretty easy. We have one masterpiece. I can make a copy, move this over, and then I could say, so align this edge to that edge of the sketch. Plonk. There we are. Thank you. And this beam is 163 and 5 inches tall, in case I didn't say that. So 163 and 5 inches. Yep. Perfect. If we now take a look at the sides, here we have also information about, for example, the layout. Now you can see here, this has a pitch. This is an iframe 23:8. We are not going to create a new sketch for this. I will show you how we actually can do this. You see there is a pitch. So this is, yeah, looks like 0.75 or maybe could easily be just be 1 degree because this is 1 degree. So how do we then do this? Very good. Okay. Now I can logically select this face and then draw this H there on top again. Now I can also be a little bit more creative. Well, I just make myself a copy. There it is. Thank you. Then I would like this edge to align to this edge. There. Cool. I'm going to select and isolate this part. No, select the top and the bottom. There we see. So that is actually 8 inches. And how much did I say is this? That is 23 inches. So these two and the top, we want to move up by how much? So 23 minus 8, 2, 10, 15, no? So 15 inches. 23. Cool. Okay. Beautiful. No, everything has a little bit of a pitch, I said. So we can select this whole object. And then we move our widget for the rotation right to this element here. And maybe it's time to say goodbye to the wall. It's all the time kind of like in my way. And this way I really, I need to position it onto that corner. And then we just pitch this 1 degree. There, perfect. Cool. You see how this is actually penetrating. We are going to fix this later. Now, this is obviously, where is it? There it is. Way too short. Big deal. Can select it. There we are. And then bring this over. Now, as I said, now we're not going to 100% redesign everything. We're going to just approximate the space. So there, this is actually pretty good. We can see that that's there. It overlaps. So let's do this. I'm going to delete this. I'm just curious what happens. So we extended it. Double click the object, bring the widget to there, and I rotated this now by 1, but 0.75, no, 0.75. How will that actually look? Ah, you see, no? How much such a small degree can do. To perfect things, this face I move down. Let's actually hide these dimensional images. They're kind of like in our way a lot right now. So this face, no, actually, hold on. We don't need to move it. We can simply select that face, select this bottom face, and then we say replace and make it flush. And the same I can do here. And there it's going to be a little bit more tricky. I'm doing a nifty trick. You see how I'm expanding this? So I can select this face, select this, and do that align command. And where's that offset command? There, delete that one. There, perfect, cool. Then now we can show the wall. Really, in this case, that's okay. Then we can select this and how do we do this? Yeah, we can just extrude it a little bit in it. There, I would sit in there. Beautiful. Cool. Okay. Very nice. We do have actually such a beam also here again. And this is actually, I think, the same. Oh, no, it's not. This is just 16. So how do we do that? Yeah, same process. I select this one. I can isolate it, make myself a copy. And so this should go up to 16. So that's simply moving this up by 8. Let's check. 16. There we are. Perfect. Unisolate. Then this, yeah, I can, if I want, align to here, snap it to there. This has to go a little bit higher somewhere. I'm not really sure yet. I realized I didn't take that dimension. And then this face, we will snap onto that wall and simply do a replace. Thank you. And then we can select this one, extrude this up. But while we extrude it, we want this extrusion to go to object. And now fix the object. You notice how I turned off the image, because from below that image would be in my way. I would select the image, and there we are. Done. So now wherever we actually put this beam, and this pipe will simply follow it. Okay, very good. Now we can take the walls off and see, no, there we are. I hope you start really noticing this is actually not really that complicated. Cool. Okay. This one here, I will select and maybe move down. Yeah, now it's getting close. Pretty cool. Okay. There is a small slab of wood here on top, and then there we have this wedge. So that is simply a 2-inch wedge. How do we do that wedge? Very complicated. We simply select the top surface, go to extrude, 2 inches, tab, and say new body. There's our slab. Done. And then here we actually, now this actually goes up by 1 degree. So we can select this one also here. Let's say I go with 1 inch this time. New body, thank you. And then this I would like to rotate. Where's my rotation command? There. Rotate, zoom in, put it onto that edge, go up by 1 degree. Enter. There. Cool. Okay. There we see this. Now, was this actually 1 inch? I don't know. Let's make this 2 inches. So for example, it's the same material thickness. Extrusion, 2 inches. Put in the scan and not the entrance, the exterior cut. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Good. We see actually this is way too low. This has to go higher. I forgot actually for this lecture to measure that height. And maybe I can find this, or I can extrapolate this from something I have here. Yeah, there we have it. So here's the piece. Movement. I did this align. Okay. And with this align command, I can move this one up now a little bit. Let's say roughly there. You see how in the back actually this starts to align. Very good. Oh, this was actually great. Now this way you can see how kind of like the scan was somewhat helpful to solve this problem. This was exactly what I was talking about. You go back to your studio and then you forgot actually to take some dimensions. And then you have to go back. Very irritating. And you see, as promised, that tube follows it. Beautiful. Now, all this is going to be one folder. This is actually, let's say, not I-beam or H-beam. I-beam. It's kind of like the same if you want to look at it. Center line and two lines on top. And then we can take a look from here. And how do we get this over now to the other side? No, sure. What's an easy way to do that? So check this out. I'm going to show all these pieces. Then I will go to where do we have this? We don't have this there. Also not here. Okay, good. Click nothing. And then we go to transform. We go to translate. Then we select the I-beam folder. Thank you. And then we say, well, from this wall, please, to this wall. In these points, you can move around. So I say, move this from A to B. And I use these columns as spacers. Done. Block. But please as a copy. Thank you. Beautifully done. And I see, oh, this one is actually a tick not long enough. So we bring this over, let's say to there. And this command has to go in front of the translate command. No, there, that's done. Perfect. Beautiful. So, I-beams are done. Very good. So how do we do now the roof and the joist? It's actually going to be pretty easy and fast. That's the easiest one. I will hide, no, this one we need to see. Everything else I'm going to hide, and that's the last thing. So these joists, as you can see, they are perpendicular on these wooden spacers, and then we put later the wooden roofs over it. And these joists, we are remodeling them in a simplified way as one really long piece. And technically speaking, at the wall, they are also anchored at 1 degree rotation. All that we skip. But we are going to rebuild them because that is then what gives later in an interior view the architecture, the quality of being believable. It doesn't have to be 100% accurate because we're selling in how something could look digitally. How this later will be constructed, things might change anyway. So the joists are 2 by 12 with a spacing of 14 inches. Okay, cool. So there are our pieces. How do I start in this case? I'm going to select these two faces and make, or do I do it on that? No, I will actually do it on this. So I could simply select actually here, this face. And then on that face, I start a sketch there. Because now I can say here, 1, 2, 3, perpendicular, perpendicular, and then U to U, perpendicular. So now this is actually 2 inches, and that is 12 inches. There's our joist. So that beautiful rectangle, we now need to extrude quite a lot. We do this 2 times. One time we extrude till onto that wall. Then I select this one and yeah, I can extrude this one out till kind of like it should go to there. But to do that, I select nothing. So select this and then select that face and say replace face. Yes, it cuts through. Not a big deal. We will fix that later. Then I select all this. This is where the pattern tool comes in. We move the pattern tool onto this edge that rotates the widget. Spacing will be, yeah, I don't know how many we need. Let's say 60. What did I say for the spacing? 14 inches. There, well, not 60, maybe 40. Oh, 45. Oh, 43. There. You see? That's actually how fast. And look, now you start noticing this becomes nicer and nicer. Okay, very good. These joists later. So you and you and you and you and you and you, we select and then and you and go subtract. And there we actually, from those, cut the wall away. We keep the wall. Thank you. Now the joists are cut. And then these fragments we can select and delete. Easy peasy. To go back now to here, we can do exactly the same. Here I select this piece. Actually, we might be able to get this onto one and the same sketch because technically speaking, yes, these wooden parts are all the same width. So this lines up. So plong. So from there, plong, 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 plong. And then we do the same. It's actually Shift P. So if you start learning the shortcuts, Shift P. There we are. U to U, Shift P. And if we want, we could say U to that one equal and U to that one and equal. And we can even go back to our extrusion command and say, hey, in this extrusion command, go edit. And now please add me this one too. You see, it does it then the same way. Logically, here the pattern command. Nope, it's not correct. We don't want this body to be part of it. Thank you. And this now needs a linear command on its own. Put the widget onto that edge, move this down. We set 14, 30, 40, 43. No, let's say 42. Actually, we keep this at 40. We keep this at 43, and I'll show you why. So 14, 43. Thank you. Now, if I go back to property photos and look at this and zoom in there, and I see there are the joists, and there's that thick piece. Look, this is actually horizontal, that is angled. And where is that view? So all this actually sits on there. Okay, so they have to be under there, technically speaking. That's really at an edge. Very good. Then let's go back to take a look at what we have. We can just get this close. So to here, something goes straight down. Yeah, that actually nearly lines up. I'm going to select this one and make this 4. Beef this up a little bit. Okay, beautiful. There we are. And then I will go to here and go make a new sketch. And then I draw something up here. Let's see. Oh, look at this. It nearly perfectly touches it. Horizontal back to there. These two should be vertical, horizontal. What I'm doing here right now is not 100% correct. I'm just trying to approximate it. Glue this to there. Very good. So that's kind of like a small support element. Now, as you can see, where the joist can sit on. Then we can make this, should we say 2 inches? Yeah, it's fine. Select the whole thing, go to pattern. How many pieces are they actually? Let's say 20. So we always have a spacing of 34 inches, for example. What about 21? Oh, that's actually very, very close. That corner nobody's going to see. So here I'm going to just say, no, you to there. Perfect. Cool. There you see, like, this is actually this view what we saw inside these photos, where where is it? There. Clunk, 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 clunk. There are these pieces. Okay. Last thing, the roof. No. The roof is actually pretty easy to do. With nothing selected, I simply go and make a sketch. That actually selects this one. No, that is not really what I want. So escape. Maybe in this case, I select this line and this line. Or no, this is going to be complicated. Too complicated here. This is easier. We select this one. Go to sketch. So on this side. And then from this point, you see, I draw a line to here, to this point. Then this goes down to somewhere. I have no idea yet where. And then I go to that point. Thank you. Very good. And press escape. I can turn on section cut. Everything now in the front is cut. If I turn on the scan and I want to see the drone exterior, this is now where that actually comes in very useful. There we can see where this plus minus has to be. So I say, for the sake of this demonstration, that thing goes to there. Perfect. Cool. Okay. Section view off, scan off. Then we go to the opposite side. Turn the images off. Here, now there we can create the sketch. Sketch, there we are. From this point, it goes to somewhere and then it goes to there. And here I have no snapping points now, as you can see. So what I simply can do is press escape. I actually have a line here in the back. That's exactly the same. I simply project this one in as a linked sketch. There we are. Then section cut. Show me the scan. Oh, and there I can see, whoa, this actually goes pretty far. Yeah, even to there. So maybe plus minus. No, actually even further. Maybe there. Okay, good. Section cut off. We can turn this off. Now these two sketches I would like to isolate. Very good. And now I do the following. I'm creating a loft, but before I do this, I need to give everything a nice thickness. So here you go up go over and go down. And then in this sketch, I simply project this over. Thank you. As a linked sketch. Thank you. Then this I can loft. No. And as you guessed it, unisolate and isolate. And then we select all that and shell it. And this way we do have our 0.75 an inch. Or maybe to make it a tick thicker, let's say 1 inch. There we are. And you see like how this creates then that drift or that transition. Beautiful. Property photos off. This is actually our roof. All this we can put into a new group or folder. Call this roof. That what is this sketch? So all this is actually the joist construction. There we are. And there's the I-beam. Beautiful. Let's turn the sketch off so we don't see it. You see, I put them into folders so I can simply turn the folder off. It's quicker. And there we are. Oh, this one needs to be split by that face. No, actually not that face. That face, split, delete this. And there we are. We actually built basically this construction. Now we can think of what goes into the windows, what goes into the doors, what all is happening inside that space. We turn on the Google Maps location. Look how beautiful this actually is. Draw an exterior. You see we are pretty close. There you see, there are the windows. Yeah, pretty good. And I just realized there is actually one door right there. We forgot about it. So how do we do this? This might make sense to go back to where we did this wall. Let's see here. Breakpoint to there. How does this look? Extrusion. Yeah, this is where we cut everything. That is now where we need to have the opening. So this goes, this goes. So on the sketch, somewhere there, we would draw in 2 lines. These lines are going to be horizontal, vertical. Again, this is one of the situations. I forgot to take the measurement for this demonstration. In real life, well, you will have to go back to the site, measure it. But we can also preemptively build something in and try to approximate that this is also correct. So let's say that is a 40-inch wide opening, and then with that scan, where is the opening? Oh, there it is. Now we can say, oh, plus minus, it's roughly there. Very good. And then breakpoint we remove. Last verification. Yeah, it does not intersect there. Very good. Beautiful. There we are. There's one complaint about this. I can fix this later. Not sure what happened there. If you run into something like this, so insert breakpoint. What is the sketch? So, oh, I see, I see. Okay, so the edge changed, no? Because you see these um, coincident constraints, they are part of the edge of the geometry that didn't exist before. So if I remove all this, what is actually part of the wall? Hold on. Just hide this. Wall sketches. What folder are they? Ah, there they are in that folder. Okay, very good. Yeah, I think they're connected to that wall body, but not the sketch. It's an easy repair. There. That goes, that goes, that goes. So you see that is actually now gone. Now this can move when I snap this back. And everything is fixed. Yeah, very good. Now, closing argument. You saw I very, in a structured way, started to build everything step by step. And this is my own preferred way. You will develop your own method of how to do something, either by yourself or also through the employer, whatever program you're going to use. And everything is also set up in a way so if I go into the space and then I have to move things around, it's actually easier to adjust everything. And with that, we're done.